Hello and welcome. This is Dul Johnson's Creative Talks, and we are going to talk about writing exercises. Have you been following me? Are you learning anything? Please don't forget to share this video and to subscribe. And if you have comments or questions, put them down in the comments column. In fact, it is as a result of those comments and questions that I am bringing some of the talks I am dealing with now. But this is for you as well as for those who are raising the issues. Creative writing exercises. I have a few exercises of my own that I use and I teach my students. But the first thing to say is, if you check on the internet, you are likely to find a great number of writing exercises that will help you. But that's not to say I won't share mine with you. You see, those come from different climes and different mindsets and so on and so forth. So they may not be exactly the kind of thing that will serve you as a Nigerian, as an African, But there's one that I learned, I don't even know where it came from, that I've always used even in my creative writing classes. It's called the spoon in a pot of stew exercise. That's how I've always called it. My exercises are actually meant to stimulate your creativity and also to, help you be alert to so many things that a writer needs in their life and in their work. So let's start with the spoon exercise. First of all, you need to know that every human being is created with 5 senses. And they do say there is a 6th sense. And of course, not everybody has that 6th sense, they say, but all of us have the 5 senses. Now, it's important that a writer wakes up those senses in the reader. When I talk about putting the reader on the page, when I talk about getting the reader involved in the unfolding events, what I mean is that they have to see, they have to feel, they have to test, they have to hear, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, the 5 senses in the human being are, there is touch or feel, there is smell, there is taste, there is hear, and there is see, right? So, when a writer is able to evoke these senses, and it's not in every story that you have to have all the senses evoked, of course, but it's important that you try to do that. So this exercise, this spoon exercise, is when you drop a spoon, a metal spoon in a pot of stew that is boiling on the fire. If you know what a stew is, okay, imagine a typical Nigerian stew. We are not talking about a Igbo stew. Nigerian stew. What do you expect to find inside the stew? What are the things that you will feel, you will taste, you will hear? There will be pepper, okay? There will be meat, there will be oil, there will be onions, meat of all kinds, maybe chunks of drumsticks or huge chunks of beef, and so on and so forth. There will be heat. And of course, if the stew is boiling, think about the shi sound that you are going to hear. So this exercise actually, if you imagine that you are the spoon in the pot of stew, close your eyes for a moment. Take 1 minute, close your eyes and imagine that you are in a pot of stew that is boiling. And you see what I'm talking about. Of course, by the time you come out of that pot, there are so many things you will recollect. heat that you felt, you were sweating, for example, and then the smell of onion or oil or whatever, or garlic, and then there is the pepper that is jumping into your eyes, you are moving, and the chunks of meat are hitting you left, right, and center. Salt, for example, So, but the thing is not just for you to tell me that, or to tell your reader that those, things are there. You have to convey them to the reader. In other words, if you tell me that there is salt in the soup, or that there is pepper in the soup, or pepper as we call it in Nigeria, just tell me that the soup has pepper. I won't feel it. I won't see it. I won't understand. So the point is for you to be able to relate the way you felt. And you do that, of course, by trying to paint a picture, by trying to make me feel as if I was in the pot with you. And how would you do that? What does pepper do? It enters your eyes and your eyes will tear, right? So if I see you, I feel you, experiencing tears falling because of pepper, or you have to, split left, right, and center because of salt or garlic, you blow your nose, all kinds of things that will be conveyed onto the page will show the reader that you had this experience, and the reader will experience it along with you. That's one game I use for teaching all the time. Okay? Now you see that it is possible to play that game. You alone sit down, imagine that scenario, and then try to capture it on paper and see how it works. Maybe you do it once, twice, 3 times. Make sure that your reproduction of it is so vivid that the reader will be able to feel it with you. That way, you are surely on the path to good narrative writing. Have a beautiful day of writing. Bye-bye.